People always say to me, why you take wet weather tyres to Darwin? And trust me, it rains, and when it rains up there, it rains, you know. The truck's always loaded. It's the way the racking's configured in it. We carry the 16 tyres per car for the 24 cars. So once that's full, we know we've got the amount of allocation. Whenever we go to a race meeting, we know quite a way in advance what the dry tyre allocation is. In the operations manual, there's a set number of tyres, whether it be 16, 20 or 28 per car. So that's 672 tyres for the 24 cars. So we actually know roughly what we've got to have there. We just make sure we cover it off. If it's a 2-day race meeting, it gets very, very busy after the practice sessions prior to qualifying. That's when practice tyres are finished with. They need to return them to us, fit the last part of the allocation of the drive with the tyres for the weekend and go from there. So that gets very, very busy very quickly. The worst thing for a tyre person is when it's wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. Everybody's budgets are tight, so you don't want to waste money, so we unfortunately can't have them all fitted up well in advance. So usually it's a matter of everyone standing there waiting for the raindrops to start falling on their head, and the engineers come out of their long lunches and out of the truck and yes, we'll sit back and say, I'll run down and get a set of wets, not realising there's 23 other teams doing the exact same thing. So it can get busy. The guys understand, everyone chips in and helps, and you can belt a lot of tyres out pretty quickly. When you've got 4 machines running, you can basically turn a set of tyres over every 2 minutes. You know, old tyres off, new tyres on, inflated out the door. So you can actually punch a lot of tyres out pretty quickly. There is a shortage of wheels currently due to worldwide shipping problems and everything else like that. So we left Townsville not knowing what was going on. Melbourne was going back into lockdown and things like that. We were lucky that when I get the calendar, I divvy up the race meetings and we get production done pretty quickly. The factory are really, really good to us. I was lucky that I had a lot of stock on the water and or in the warehouse. And that helped us enormously. So we were able to tell Supercars, these are the tyres we've got. We had the original Sydney tyres here from the August date. We had the Perth tyres here. We've got Bathurst tyres here. We had the Winton tyres here from when that was cancelled and everything. So you just gave them a smorgasbord of rubber and say, righto, make some race meetings. And then we loaded 10 40-foot containers to come up here, so 5,318 tyres. And the Gold Coast tyres were diverted from Brisbane to Sydney on the ships, and they're the tyres we're using at Sydney 3. So it's a bit close for comfort, but I slept pretty well after they finally arrived, that's for sure. But logistical nightmare, but it just flows, it just works. We all work in together, and it made it happen.